Hello and welcome back to Football is Nice. While Jurgen Klopp may crave a winter break, we actually have one. Me, Gareth Roy, Jenny May Finn have returned, refreshed, invigorated, in my case somewhat slimmer and immune, and in Gareth's case in a nice shirt that is not themed around Hull, although a football hooligan might wear that, a casual.
Yeah, I try and relate it somehow.
It's tangential, but it's connected to the game we love, that we claim is nice.
I forgot my shirt today. Not this shirt, I mean I forgot my whole shirt.
Are you going to make any effort to inveigle yourself into the hearts of the Hull board and situate yourself? Why are you not using this opportunity?
I don't. Well, you know, obviously they did get in touch. They sent me a shirt which I love, and I will be wearing next week.
Oh, you didn't even wear that yet?
No, I've worn it many times. You know, it's the one that looks like the Roma home kit.
That lovely burgundy. That's right. Ox blood thing.
And then they told Jade that they were going to get in touch with me because they wanted to do things with me.
I want them to do things.
So do
with
I.
you.
I'd do anything for that.
I know you would.
And I said, tell them I'll do anything. And I haven't heard from them since. I don't know if I've in some way offended them.
I wonder what you're like in a relationship when I hear stories like that. I feel that you may need to be more consistent and reliable in your relationship with Hull, and possibly with any potential life partners that you're auditioning, if that's how you approach.
You're absolutely right.
How you approach it. Now, we've got a lot to talk about because there's been a lot of football over Christmas and New Year. Most recently, of course, there's been the FA Cup third round, and people have been importantly reviewing Football is Nice. This is a very lovely review from someone calling himself Massive Attack, from meh to magnificent, 5 stars. After listening to 20 minutes of the pilot, I thought meh, that's what I thought, and decided life was too short to bother with it. Then I saw Carlton Cole was on, and I listened to the whole episode. Magnificent. That's the journey from meh to magnificent.
Wow.
It's been described actually in that first stanza. I was choked up at times, continues Massive Attack. Now I've listened to them all and await the latest episode, like an addict waiting for his bottle of methadone at the local pharmacy.
Well, this person's got a problem, I think.
I say so.
Yeah.
And the image of desperation and crippling addiction and dependency is very much what we're trying to elicit.
Absolutely. And in a way, I like the fact that it's our podcast that's created this addictive,
this dependency,
trait in
this
them.
desperation, this hopelessness and despair that accompanies all that are chemically dependent on a clinically prescribed substance. Like,
Yeah, it could be a lot worse, couldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like methadone.
You'd know, right?
That's
Have
right.
you ever mentioned it?
I want to use this as a chance to tell the world that I've once, for 1 week in 1998, had a terrible problem with cigarettes and alcohol. Jenny May Finn, what did you do
Hello.
to deserve this opportunity?
To speak to you.
Yeah. Well, did you have a nice holiday?
Yeah, I was ill multiple times.
Oh.
Yep.
Why?
I got a cold.
Yeah.
And then I got COVID.
And yet here you are in the workplace.
Yep. Well, I don't have it anymore.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good if I came in, would it?
No. There's an official line on
It's
that.
absolute no from
A
the boss.
hard no.
There you go.
Yeah, I like how you looked at Gareth.
Gareth knows all about that in the newspapers, cut to the current affairs, such as we see. So look, the podcast is back stronger than ever.
Well, apparently it's season 2, but I saw that on the promo on YouTube and your various platforms.
I wouldn't have called it season 2.
Well, it said season 2, and that made me confused because
sure.
it's
Season
the same,
1.
It's the same season.
We have to correlate this football podcast to these sort of EPL seasons.
We have to, because then what if there's if there's a week break? What then? We're season 3.
Do you get confused when it's like, when you talk about football in the past and it goes 84 to 85? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because a
I
season,
just got confused then.
it starts in September and it ends in May. So it's ignoring a year. And then you start thinking, well, is it even New Year's Eve? I mean, the Chinese, they do it at a different time. The Jewish New Year's a different time out there in space. Does it matter? One revolution every January the 1st. Are we supposed to celebrate that? Did you?
No, I was at home. I was ill. I had vertigo.
Yeah, I was ill
You
too.
had vertigo. You had COVID. I had COVID. We were all so sweet and vulnerable, weren't we?
Well, I actually wasn't sweet. My head was spinning like something rotten. It was ridiculous.
It's weird that Jen and I at least had the common decency to catch a disease that's very much current and in the papers, whereas you got a disease that's an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not even a thing that I thought was real.
Huh? The cause?
I think I asked you that already.
In this situation, it was apparently an ear infection. But then anyway, I won't get bogged down in vertigo. But it wasn't very nice. I had a very spinny few days.
I feel bad for you having a dizzy, spinny time like that. And it's weird that reality is regulated by sort of what's going on in your ear holes like that.
All reality is inside your head is one of the things that I know is obvious. But when you're in that situation, you realise, oh, this is like... If you break your leg, maybe playing football to link it back, you go, oh, my leg, the problem is my leg. It's not actually, the problem is your head. It's whatever's going on in there. And when something is actually going on in your head or connected to your head, you realise, oh God, if I'd not got control of this guy, that's it. I'm done.
That guy's running things. It's like when, of course, in a documentary, you get a bang on the head and now you can speak fluent French or play the piano.
I'd always like that to happen.
Did you get any special skills as a result of your vertigo? Any powers?
No, I realised, because obviously what I did immediately, which I'm guessing we all do, is as soon as you get symptoms of anything, you look it up on Google and then you read all sorts of dreadful stuff. And one of the things I read was that you lose vocabulary, which I mean is entirely
with
possible.
Vertigo?
Yeah, it's one of the.
You lose vocabulary.
Yeah, that's right. Like words drop out of your mouth.
Head hurt bad now. High up, scary down. Oh no, vertigo. Because vertigo is one of the first words I reckon you'd be robbed of if you had it. Because you only need it if you're high up somewhere, or if you actually get this medical type of vertigo that I didn't really think existed until you turned up here for the new season.
For season 2,
yeah. What are you going to get next?
This time it's dizzy or something.
Are you going to get the bends? What other weird, the heebie-jeebies? Other made-up diseases? Saturday night fever? What's next for you? The creeping lurgy? So, look, there's lots to discuss as well as your diseases, and many of them are football-related, such as we've pledged to the army of fans that follow this podcast. You did your professional best and sent out a question on our numerous social media platforms. Thank you, everyone, for following us. And come and see me live on tour, particularly Scunny. Everywhere in the first month, sold out, selling fantastic. All Liverpool, Nottingham, Hammersmith, Apollo. Scunny. It's hard to sell a ticket.
Do you mean Scunthorpe? Oh, my word. Across the way from Hull.
Right, well, why don't you use people of Hull and the surrounding towns? Did you ever go to Scunny?
I've been a few times. My mum used to get the car fixed there.
Get the car fixed over at Scunny?
If you'll believe it, it was cheaper than Hull.
I'm not paying Hull prices to fix the car. To Scunthorpe. They'll do out for out. That's the motto of Scunthorpe.
Yeah, across the Humber Bridge. It was a fun trip. She'd say, you know where we're going today? Oh, where?
Scunthorpe.
Right.
Getting the car fixed. How are we getting there? Bus? Well, no, you've got to get the car there.
You have to.
That's tough, isn't it?
Then they give you a replacement car back over the bridge.
And then back again to
It's a hell of a
Scunthorpe
day.
to get the old gal back. Did you go down the beach and sort of, is there that sort of thing going on?
Yeah, it's not.
Pebbles or sand?
Pebbles.
Yes. And Scunny, we're sticking with pebbles.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a mix of the two. It's a bit boggy, you know.
Oh.
It's not, you don't go out and sunbathe. It's not that, you know, it's not.
Will you get some merchandise or go to the arcade, a hat of some kind, of one of them windmill fans, perhaps a stick of rock?
I think that's more Blackpool. I mean, Scunthorpe for me is purely the...
just get the car done,
garage.
Get out. Don't stop off for some memorabilia of Scunthorpe. Well, I feel that Scunthorpe is, I thought it was, it's not a holiday destination.
I don't actually know. I should know.
I know that Blackpool is, where I'll also be appearing on tour. Now you...
Wow.
Yeah,
doing the north, aren't you?
I'm giving it back to the north.
Yeah, finally.
That's what they deserve. It's what they want. The people have spoken, and as best I can determine from their accents, what they're saying is, come up here and give it to us, old Russ. And by Joe Vishal. Now, you, professional that you are, broadcast on our many successful social media platforms the question, this weekend saw loads of FA Cup upsets. What's your favourite football-related upset, either as a player or fan? Now, have you vetted these responses, Gal? Because I know that you are meticulous in whether or not the responses...
There's a few he will be not happy about.
Really, Jen?
Yeah.
You've already seen. They've made it through. They've been done by dear Christina, and you think that some of these won't meet Gareth's criteria, because Gareth was saying, well, that's not really a football upset. And I'm always astonished by
I
how...
think he'll be upset.
Gareth's like, what do I say? He's critiquing of the answers. I think is bad faith, bad sportsmanship to our people that are participating in providing us content. Now, let's read out the first one from Philip Jensen on YouTube. It was sort of an upset. Oh, that's not a good start, Gal. He even doubts whether it meets it. It was sort of an upset, and it upset a few people. When I was 14, I was playing youth for Southampton as a goalkeeper. Well, this is good. Someone was on the books at the Saints as a goalkeeper. They let me go in goal at the half-time interval, basically so this supporter with a severe bone condition could score a goal past me. It's not, the upset is not about severe bone conditions. We're not upset because people are suffering in this world. God knows we cover that enough in our other content. So the supporter with a severe bone condition could score a goal past me, but I'd never saved a shot in a packed stadium, and instinct just took over. Everyone booed, but it was worth it for the clean sheet. That's right, Philip Jensen.
Well
the
done.
records show that this poor fella or lass who's come out there to score a goal as a sort of recompense for their bone condition, that they've been thwarted by
well
Philip
done,
Jensen.
Philip. You've got to have principles.
Has he understood the nature of your question, Gal? Does that meet the...
I think that meets the criteria. My one, I guess, follow-up would be, and this is in, I hope this person is well with the severe
I hope
bone
you got
condition.
well, mate. Bloody hell.
But would it be the best thing for someone with a severe bone condition to take a penalty? Or?
If there's something severely wrong with your bones, the pressure of taking a spot kick against what we now know is a mean-spirited goalkeeper who's not entered into the sort of the festivities.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse. There could have been a really dreadful end to that story.
Thank God it's not. The upset didn't go all the way into a final analysis. A coroner's report said it was the rebound from my punched-out save that contributed to the death of this poor unfortunate. You, as a vertigo sufferer, though, perhaps you'll be allowed out at half-time against Hull. Shame you couldn't appear at Hull v Everton. That
would have been nice.
Gareth Roy's had vertigo. He's got his burgundy kit on.
It would have been like that game where you spin around on the spot and then you go and take a spot kick. You know
the one with a broom?
That's right.
The broom had one. I don't like things like that.
Neither do I.
My children, if you go to a playground with them, there's roundabouts such as we know and love from childhood, but there's these other ones that are like a bucket seat, such as you might have in, I don't know, a spaceship or something, or a car. And you sit there and you're encased. You're like in an egg cup of bucket seat.
Oh, yeah.
They spin you around in that. Like, while I was in there, most recently at some adventure playground, I thought, this is not very nice.
No.
And then when you get off, you're ill. It's disorienting. Again, reality is taking place within your own consciousness and like a few stimulants of that nature.
I had a very similar experience. I took my nephew along with my sister and we went to a kid's playground. In Brighton. And the first time in, I don't know how long it was, that I got on a little roundabout and he was all excited. And obviously I got on it with him. And we started going and I thought, I feel utterly sick and I haven't felt this way since childhood, know.
I think you're going to fix your eyes on the horizon.
I just had a feeling of maybe...
Was there one?
Maybe my vertigo was just the after effects of the roundabout.
You're still a man suffering the aftershock.
It's possible. Who knows?
You're like Buzz Aldrin. Still not really fully over the horror, the beautiful, bleak existential horror of it all.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to you.
Maybe, yeah. Coming back to Hull, though, because obviously they were on the telly. I mean, I texted you before the game. I said...
You tried to coax me into watching Hull Everton.
Did it work?
No, I was doing something else and I thought, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to watch the Toffees versus the Tigers.
I don't blame you. I was a little surprised it was on BBC One. I guess they were...
What time of day?
It was 5:30, so it was an evening kickoff. And I guess they were thinking it was a potential upset because obviously Everton have not been good this season. Neither have we, really. We've had a little resurgence of late. But I was ever so excited. Excited.
Was it at Hull?
At Hull, Lineker, Shearer, in the KCOM, at Hull. So there was this amazing fireworks show beforehand and light show.
Good was it?
It looked brilliant,
even with the vertigo.
Even better. They're everywhere, those fireworks.
Sound.
No, it was so brilliant, and I got these little real pangs of pride for Hull, you know, and they did a little intro VT about Hull with a Hull voiceover.
They say
this woman, and she was brilliant. She was like, "Oh, up north in Hull, we do things different and stuff." That isn't actually a Hull accent, but it was brilliant. I was so proud, and weirdly, I mean, Hull. It's not that long since Hull have been in the Premier League. But there's something about seeing like a whole programme based in Hull, dedicated to Hull, talking about us a lot, proper VTs, you know, a bit local history and stuff.
Was there any black and white stuff? Was there? Did you see some people in a shop talking about the magic of the FA Cup? You know,
I think you definitely saw some local Hull people.
Often someone, it seems to me, when they do these FA Cup VTs, someone will make a pie or some local.
Yeah, there was stuff like that. Yeah.
Dense local delicacy, some thick, coarse, carb-heavy thing.
Yeah, but it was like, you know, to music and everything, so it was all exciting.
Yeah, music, nice.
All stuff about tigers and things. And tigers are inherently fun and stuff, aren't
inherently,
they? Yeah, well, you know, they're kind of scary and, yeah, exciting.
Is there an animated tiger?
It was just the badge, it was the crest. But, you know, it was. What I'm saying is it was excellent.
Enjoyed it. Now, the game itself.
The game itself, we took the lead in the first minute.
What was that like?
It was brilliant, obviously.
Sometimes a too early goal, it's like I'm not yet ready. I'm not settled into it.
The crowd went absolutely berserk.
Did they?
As did I.
Climbing over people.
I didn't say any of that. We obey the rules in Hull. You'll see when you go to the north. It's a wonderful place.
Keep an eye out for it. I know exactly what to do if the car breaks down as well. Over that Humber.
Straight over to Scunthorpe.
We're getting nice to see you guys know what's what and at a price that's right. Not like them.
You mention my mum's name, you'll be all right. Don't worry.
What's the name?
It's Arlette.
Arlette sent me. Well, there's the deal. And as the complimentary vehicle, can have a Trans Am. That's my only request. Like Knight Rider. That's all I want. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a brilliant game. They took the lead. Very exciting. Everton were very, very poor. We went ever so close to going 2-0 up. I think if we would have gone 2-0, it might have been game over. Everton came back, went 2-1 up. And then just as it seemed like, this is probably petering out, we scored Ryan Longman scored an absolute screamer of a goal.
Really?
Best goal of the game. 2-2, extra time. Just before extra time, KLP hit the post. That would have been it. But what was great is that there was no part of it where you felt like the commentators were like, well, it's only Hull. It was the whole time, it was like, this is potential upset. And that's what you want. And it was great to watch. As I said to you earlier, I normally, if I watch Hull, I'm petrified in any situation that kind of really matters, any league game, or certainly when we're in the Premier League. Watching this was a kind of free hit of what we just want is pride and to do like the city proud and put on a good game for the fans. And it was all of that. It was amazing.
When was it you got a cup final? About 2012 or something? Against Arsenal. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
It wasn't that long ago.
Probably more recent than Everton.
Yeah.
You could say
absolutely.
That Hull are the high achievers.
Yeah, that's right.
I think West Ham might still be the last team outside the top flight to win the cup. I don't know, because I know Millwall got to a final, but I feel like they lost. Wigan got to a final, I feel like they lost.
They won.
So was Wigan top flight?
No, they were top flight, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
they went down after winning the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, that was the same season, wasn't it? It was that thing, would you like that to win the cup and get relegated?
I would. What would you do?
I want West Ham, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I want West Ham to finish in the top 4.
Well, because this is all achievable this season with how good they are.
Yes, please.
So
top 4 finish.
Top 4.
Win Europa League, and win the FA Cup, and that will be. That's what I feel would be a great season.
Okay.
For West Ham. Now we went out of the Football League Cup to Spurs while I was away, and I didn't like that one bit.
No,
I didn't.
No, because you'd already beaten Chelsea, hadn't you, in it?
Yeah, it seemed like possibly, and like when you get to the semi-finals, it's like, oh hello, this is it. It's tantalising. Now, what you may not know about me, Mr. Roy, is just yesterday I sat in this very room. History was made here when I appeared on Micail Antonio and Callum Wilson's podcast.
Excellent.
Callum Wilson, he went there. He's off getting a treatment for an injury, travelling between Newcastle.
They're about to replace him with Chris Wood from Burnley, apparently, because he's injured.
Oh.
So Newcastle are spending the money.
Oh, they're
Not that it helped the other day.
No, because they lost to Cambridge, of course.
To Cambridge, yeah. Kieran Trippier'd Newcastle.
Trippier was on the pitch today.
Yeah, he was. They just signed Thursday, I think. And then they
now
play.
Cambridge.
Now Cambridge.
Forget Simeone, forget Atletico Madrid, forget Suarez.
Yeah.
It's Cambridge now. All you got to do is not. No, Kieran. Kieran, you're expensive.
What was actually one of the we'll come to West Ham, but like one of the kind of images from it was Trippier kind of encouraging his teammates to, you know, congratulate Cambridge and applaud the fans and things like.
Kieran's actually a pro.
Absolutely, yeah. As the Newcastle players were, you know, marching off, at the
They're
end
just
of
swanning off, or like with their various bandages and trinkets that adorn them all. Maxi man, mummy, Maxi mummy. Like they're just off, were they?
Yeah, apparently Trippier was like, no, we need to like say thanks to the fans, and you know, because otherwise that's the kind of result that will turn a season. You know, it's not going great so far.
Because they could go down.
They could, yeah. I mean, it'll depend. The other thing is like, how will it affect the signings that they bring in January? Because obviously this is Newcastle's time now. Like it's all been about richest club in the world. What will they do? They brought in a new manager and all that. But now it's like, who are they going to attract? Yeah. So that will be interesting.
Yeah. Because there's got to be these intermediary sort of appointments, isn't there? Kieran Trippier, given he's like 31 or something, he's possibly not going to be around if there is some glorious new Geordie Dawn, because you know it's going to take a few years.
You'd think so.
To bring them in.
Yeah.
Although sometimes you think, why can't you just buy 11 brilliant players and then just tell them to do what they've always done and sort their lives right out?
Yeah, I think me and you, we thought that Blackburn had won it much sooner than they did. Do you remember we were watching that documentary that
we
kept
obsessed.
banging on about? And
but they were slowly acquiring people over a number of seasons.
That's right. We kind of had the idea that Jack Walker came in, spent 100 million and they won the title, but that isn't what happened. That's just us misremembering it.
We've condensed it. We're so used to highlights packages that our own life is a highlights package of reality. Yeah, I see what's happened. That's not reality, what you're remembering.
No. So look, back to West Ham. What are your... Micail Antonio podcast.
Micail Antonio and Callum Wilson have got a podcast. I see them as a couple of great number nines making their way in life. Now, I was nervous to go on a podcast. Yeah, for a number of reasons. One is, like, you always feel like, how are you going to cut... Like, even when I went on David Seaman's podcast... You always feel, where's it? I mean, people aren't going to expect you to surely, you know, like I'm a football fan. I've got erratic, patchy, misremembered highlights package style knowledge, lies, half remembered truths. But actually, I did quite well. The only thing I will cop to as an error is that where Micail Antonio is understandably, like when it comes up on the Zoom, it's on Zoom, like there's 3 like producers, right, on there, or 3 people at any rate, and I presume what they were doing
is BBC money, so
it's BBC gravy train.
I wish I was.
And then Micail's there next to what was a pretty astonishing collection of shoes. For a minute I thought he was in a boot room at the London Stadium, but that is only the fact that, well, the variety of colours, you could still get that with all the sponsorship deals. I goes, what's that? Where are you? Next to all them shoes, Micail. But there is shoes.
Oh.
He's described it as his guilty pleasure. Now, what it was, mate, is that I felt like, because I'm a dyed-in-the-wool long-term broadcaster, as you know, began my broadcasting career when I was little more than a lad.
He's put the years in.
I really have done the yards. So, like, I felt like, I felt totally responsible, and like I felt like if this is, you know, and Micail. Like, he done real well, but I love him. I love him as a player. I love him as a person. You know, I love him when he comes on Match of the Day or Monday Night Football or whatever. He's ebullient, effusive, fun, and he likes the crack, doesn't he? He's a laugh.
How can you be nervous with all this language?
Because in case, I don't know, I make a mistake. Well, I make a mistake.
Done that 30 seconds. That'll do. That's all they need.
That's all they need.
Do a bit of that and then laughing.
But what I done instead is that I thought, I took over and interviewed Micail Antonio. That's the mistake I made.
I don't think that's a mistake. They'll be pleased. It'll stand out from the rest.
Well, because I interviewed Micail, and also I could see the producers were trying to get in to sort of direct it in another way.
Yeah.
But as my friend Alfie once said, that when he met Eminem, like he went to see Eminem at Milton Keynes, and he was with people who knew Eminem's. I think the movie star Edward Norton, but I may be wrong. After they get to meet Eminem, and Alfie said that he watched as one by one the people ahead of him went and shook Eminem's hand, and they all did a sort of thumb meeting diagonal, more cool football handshake for Eminem. Yeah, hey man, and maybe the lean in and bump shoulders. And Alfie said he watched that, and he said, I goes, did you do it? He goes, no. He goes, I see that Eminem was trying to do it to me, but I made it be a normal handshake. and forced it into the conventional handshake. Like, well, I once heard someone say it's a piece of cheese handshake. A piece of cheese, like white people handshake or something.
Yeah.
So, I, in a way, admire him for doing that to
Yeah.
Eminem. After Eminem's just entertained, presumably, I don't know, some sort of stadium in Milton Keynes,
Yeah.
to not let Eminem do his preferred handshake, especially when it's in the rhythm of that. I'd go with the flow, would you?
I'd absolutely go with the flow.
You're not going to start forcing Eminem into a more conventional, less good. This is your chance.
I think it says a lot about anyone that would try and force Eminem into an uncomfortable handshake. It's an odd thing to do. I mean, Alfie's a wonderful guy.
But when he knows what he likes when it comes to a handshake, and
Yeah.
he won't go against
Yeah.
what he prefers.
The thing about you is, I don't think you would do that with the handshake.
No
at
way.
all.
I'd be honoured
Yeah.
to be getting a good handshake
Yeah,
like
you'd
that.
lean into his style
I
handshake.
might overdo it. I might
Yeah.
sort of try a fist bump
You
and then
would.
like double slap. Like, no, I've blown it. I blew me Eminem handshake.
You'd do a little rap off the back of it.
Hey, yo, word, Em. I sit back and relax. Hey, what's he doing? Like, smell it. Ed, is this guy with you? No, we just ran into him in the corridor. I think he won a contest.
Get the guy who does the awkward handshake back. I preferred
At
him.
least he's himself.
I respect that.
Stands up for what he believes in. Yeah. So what I've done really is I could see the producers were trying to sort of get in and say, Micail,
You need to interview your guest.
interview your guest, ask him. We've discussed some questions in advance. Also, I thought, props to Micail.
Yeah.
Because he's earning
He's not a presenter, is
top
he?
dollar.
Yeah.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's playing for Jamaica now. He's got like games forthcoming. In fact, he won't be coming to the Hammersmith Apollo, which we briefly discussed him attending because he'll be away with Jamaica.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's, as you say, he doesn't need to do it. And he's not a presenter. If I was the producers there, I'd just let him do what he does best.
What? Oh, Russ.
No, well, you,
Or
yeah.
Micail.
And Micail.
What eventually?
Don't overproduce is what I'm saying. There's no
Is that
point.
how you handle me?
Yes. There's no
Don't
point
overproduce
pushing
it.
someone into a corner of something that they're uncomfortable with. I'm not telling the BBC producers
How to do their
how
job.
to do their job.
No.
In a way, I am.
You
No,
are.
I'm not.
Because, when I go on a radio show or whatever and I see the producer go, do that bit again, I think, they don't say that because I don't like that.
No.
That's what's made me unemployable.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm saying this because that's what I've had to do.
You're dealing with a prickly, sensitive talent that sort of needs to be handled in a certain
with
way.
care.
But that's the skill of a producer, isn't it?
Oh.
You've got to package and allow the person. Yeah, when we're doing our other stuff, you go, yeah, Russell, these are some good jokes. These
Yeah.
might improve it. You know what I mean? You allow me to fly.
But you don't need as much prep as other people.
Yeah,
Other people need to be handheld.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a good producer. Look at that. Even now, looking after my fragile little ego. And I could see that because you're watching the four little windows. There's Micail next to his shoes. There's a couple of lads and a female producer also. And I could see that top left corner. He's trying to sort of time when the endings are coming, but I won't let him. I keep going to Micail. Yeah, well, how do you feel about Jamaica? And and what were you looking after them hamstrings?
Yeah.
And all of that.
But look, you weren't meant to go and kiss Sam Allardyce so much of the day, but you did that.
It was a highlight.
It's gone down in history. Look at it.
It's gone down in history, that, hasn't it? That's one for the ages, the Allardyce kiss. They'll never forget that.
Yeah.
You're right. And anyway, though, eventually I thought...
Paxman, you weren't meant to go on and do anything. You only
One minute.
did half an hour on revolutions.
Here you what, Paxman, I'll tell you a thing or two about the bloody government, pal. I've worked some stuff out while I was thinking in the car.
So you've got a book out. Never mind the book.
This is about our actual revolution, not just a catchy title. But what happened is, after a while, I thought, you might be doing that thing, Russell, where out of anxiety, you take control of a situation when that isn't actually your job. Trust that Micail and his team of producers will know what to do. So eventually, after seeing that the guy, he was trying to time because he didn't want to interrupt, I just let him talk.
There you
And
go.
what happened then was a series of clearly prepared questions about how does it compare to stand up. That was good. That got asked. What are your most memorable games? That time when there was a time at Upton Park one time when I was in the concourse and the West Ham fans, it was when I just got famous, go, Russell, give us a song. Russell, give us a song. And there was something slightly baiting about it. I felt like I need to commit here. So, and I had to reprise that, and I had to sing Over Land and Sea, which is what I sang back then in probably 2004 or 5. I had to sing that again, but also I did West Ham and Massive Everywhere We Go, because that is a contemporary, current West Ham
Nice.
song.
Ah, nice. Showed your knowledge there.
Showed me knowledge. I saw it as an opportunity to show off, and by Jove, I took it.
I've heard it when you sing in extra Cockney, like West Ham games.
You've got to.
Yeah, you really lean into that, don't you?
You don't want to be pronouncing the T's and like diphthongs and stuff when you're actually just singing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you should do some vibrato. I hate that. I'm forever. That's the last thing they want, isn't it, Gareth?
Yeah, they don't want that.
That's
especially from you and your winkle pickers and your tight jeans at the time with your massive hair.
Massive hair.
He's pronouncing the T's!
Oh, sorry, fellas. Come on, let's go smash up some shops out there on Green Street. I'll show them those blooming mill walls. Yeah, I was just trying to fit in, gal. Anyway, the best. It was pretty good, actually. The rest of I would say it went well, and it was lovely to meet Micail Antonio, and I love him.
Oh, I'm glad about that.
I've met him before, but
he'll come on this, will he, at some point?
We'll get him on.
I'll tell you who does want to come on. Oh. Stephen Warnock. Now, ex-Liverpool, Stephen Warnock.
I saw Stephen Warnock as one of the people brought in. How do you know him?
Well, I don't, but someone over Twitter, which I now use fairly regularly.
Do you?
Yeah, I've started using Twitter for work purposes. But also, I follow Hull and that kind of stuff. And someone got in touch with us. One of our listeners has got in touch and said, I recommend Stephen Warnock be on your... And then he linked Stephen Warnock in. And then Warnock and I started tweeting.
Well, he was a pundit on Match of the Day for the day 2 of coverage there on Sunday. I've just been watching him and Leon pundit. Osman.
That's right.
Yeah, he's very neat, spectacles.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember much of Stephen Warnock.
He was at Liverpool. There was,
what era?
That story under Benitez. I think there was that story I heard him tell once about when they won the Champions League and they only had a certain
they didn't give him a medal.
That's right, they didn't give him a medal.
That's pretty heavy.
Really bad. And I thought, you can do that on our show.
And he played in some of the early rounds, didn't he?
That's right. I think that's disgraceful.
Give him
just
a medal.
Just because you don't play in the final.
They don't cost much, the medals, when you think of the lavish funding.
I'm sorry, we could only stretch to 15.
Are they real gold? No. It's probably go out for £15, didn't it, to get one of these?
He didn't ask for the trophy, did he?
He didn't ask for the trophy. He didn't ask for a controlling share of Bayern Munich for next year. He just wanted a trinket, a bauble, a gesture. That's all Warnock wants.
Yeah,
we'll bring him on. We'll get him on. It's good that you're fishing for guests, because sometimes we get a guest, sometimes we don't. The guests are always good, but let's face it, they pull the show in a different football-oriented direction.
Yeah, well, we have to be respectful, don't we?
Yeah, so that's part of my week was that. I'll be going on True Geordie soon, and I'm going to be going on Talk Sport to talk to Simon Jordan and Jim White to promote this show.
Great stuff.
That's right. That's what I'm doing. So, shall I read a few more of these responses to the questions, Gal? We've got a lot of items. We do our predictor and our personal league between you, me and Jen based on the predictions of results. We've got that. And, of course, I've got Russell's football breakdown. Have you taken any notes?
No.
God, Gal. So this is Richard on YouTube. I'm a Forest fan, so I had a great weekend. Of course, they beat Arsenal in that white kit.
Yeah, well, we won't get
I know it's against knife crime, and that's a good thing. And Idris Elba was there, and I believe it's Idris Elba's charity. And, of course, that's a good initiative. What I could see in the FA Cup is the Premier League kits are a lot better than everyone else's kits.
Yeah.
Like, Forest kit's got some weird blue cross at the back above the number. I don't like it. It's not in keeping.
Although, obviously, you won't besmirch the whole third.
What did you? I've not seen any.
The whole third kit, the famous.
Oh, is that what they were wearing?
No, from my one.
Your burgundy. That's a lovely kit.
I keep going on about it. Send me another one, please.
Why don't you just text someone?
I should, yeah.
If you want the kit so bad.
Actually, the sponsor did a tweet that included me saying one of our photos that we took. And said, "Nice kit, Gareth." Trues, which is my Twitter handle, wink or something.
Wink. Where are they going with this?
I think it might have been one wink, because 2 winks is too much, isn't it?
Wink is like, this is going to become a romantic partnership, isn't it? What do you think?
The wink is the cheesiest, I think, of the emojis. When someone does a wink, I think, who do you think you are?
I don't do a wink.
You're being funny?
What about the one where it's like laughing so much that they're crying their eyes out?
Apparently you have to use that more than the crying emoji. Apparently you don't use anymore.
Oh, no one uses the crying emoji? No. Oh, thanks for telling me.
The cry laughing emoji. You have to use the crying streams emoji.
Crying streams.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never used that.
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's the new one. No.
You're not big on the...
Yeah.
Oh, the faces emojis. You do other things other than faces.
I'll do a purple heart.
Yeah,
and I'll do
hearts.
a thumbs up, and I'll do a fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
And sometimes I've not really got time to investigate, but there's some good stuff in the emoji board.
Do you like the one with the eyes that are all watery? I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jen.
Yeah.
But that's more anime.
Yeah, it is anime.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a breach of styles, I say. I think they're no longer consistent with their own internal grammar.
Does anyone get excited when they discover that there is a new emoji in there?
No.
Neither do I, so that's how I brought it up.
I'd like to see a bit more near the knuckle emojis. I mean, I think they're very anodyne.
Yeah, they are.
What are they supposed to be?
Because they're a communicative tool.
No, I mean, what other new ones would you like?
Incendiary things are a bit near the knuckle. Like filthy
what?
stuff.
Oh.
Shocking.
You mean
Shocking,
a real
explicit.
version of an aubergine?
Yeah, why not?
That's
a winky,
true, though.
Woo.
Yeah.
A winky, woo, a boob,
Yeah.
a bottom.
Yeah.
But then they're not really...
Because it's not language anymore, because it's not an
It's too
inference.
explicit
it's a
then.
statement.
Yeah.
Well, one of them's the middle finger being held up.
Yeah.
No.
Is that in there?
Yeah.
There's
Well, that's
two
actually means
different rock
F-
ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's two different rock ones as well. There's close together fingers and wide ones.
But there's no way of misinterpreting a middle finger, though, is there? Although probably in other cultures.
What's it mean in another... Like, that has become rude to me, that.
Yeah.
Now, in yoga, they say, of course, that each of these fingers does have an inherent meaning. And in a way, thumbs up, Fonzie, yay, everything's okay.
Yeah, the original thumbs up.
That's who Fonzie invented that. Then there's the index finger. You don't like to be pointed at, and that's
No.
why I like to do an open-handed gesture when I'm referring to someone. Middle finger, saucy as heck. Wedding finger, swit swoo, commitment for life, wink wink. Little finger, pinky promise.
Oh, yeah, of
Pinky
course.
promise. And in yoga, they've all got little meanings to do with planets and whatnot.
I thought you were going to say that's all of them in yoga.
And that's them, pinky promise. That's the ancient Vedic texts of the pinky promise.
God, he's so knowledgeable, isn't he?
And of course, there's the pinky promise. And I believe it was Yogananda that conveyed the up yours, Kai Bosch, and up the potty. That comes from Prabhupada. The great teachers and mystics came up yours to laws with your straight bananas. Yeah, so that's all some stuff that I've said now.
Yeah, good stuff.
Richard on YouTube says, I'm a Forest fan. I had a great weekend. Made even better by an Arsenal fan sitting in the corner of the pub after the game, gently slapping himself on the side of the head and repeatedly saying to himself, top four. You fell for it again, Stephen. You fell for it again.
To himself.
Saying it to himself.
That's amazing.
Caught someone there in a moment of doubt.
You can understand that as an Arsenal fan. It must be a strange time to kind of have these runs of games. I mean, it's obviously partly the media's fault because they create these narratives. Oh, this is Arsenal's, they're unbeaten now.
Resurgent.
Yeah, it's the resurgent. Maybe Arteta is brilliant after all. Maybe they will challenge for the top four. And then something like this happens. And
I don't like it that they've gone above the Mighty Hammers.
No.
That's where my feelings are.
Well, there's a long way to go.
Long way to go. Spurs will be in the mix. Leicester,
Man United,
West Ham,
probably.
United, if they sort it out. And is the idea that they don't like Rangnick?
I don't know. I don't think they're convinced. And I would imagine it's because the performances haven't been that great. They keep getting these. I watched the Villa game last night and they won it, but they weren't remotely, what is the word? Convincing at all. It's just, they don't look like the United of old. And that's probably a stupid thing to say because the United of old now is, we're talking Ferguson. But they just don't have that vibe about them, the United. And I imagine that each new manager that comes in, you get the little false dawn. And, even under Ollie, they played some good games, didn't they? The kind of beating PSG and all those kind of stuff. And it was like, wow, this is the old United. And then...
It's too old.
It's too old now. Yeah. I mean, if I find myself... Because I hated United as a teenager. Just because they won everything. They were so dominant. And even now I find myself thinking, come on, I actually want United to be good again. I want to see a good team. You've got those players there. Rashford, I know the story from yesterday is that he just didn't look bothered. Not a criticism of him. He looked like something's drained from him, a kind of enthusiasm or something's drained. It's not, again, it's not criticism. He's brilliant and a brilliant player. But something's not quite right, it feels.
It was either Colton Cole or Tony Adams on this very podcast that helped me to understand that when it seems like there's sort of a kind of disarray and people aren't challenging for second balls and all that kind of stuff, that means they're not they're not all well drilled and convinced. There's not a good cohesion.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, that made sense. Maybe I think it was Colton Cole.
He was, yeah.
Made me understand.
He was brilliant. No wonder it turned that person into an addict.
It turned anyone into a methadone freak. Breastfeed your dad said on Twitter, and that's why I don't go on Twitter, because even a name like that can upset me. My mum upset a cup of tea all over my pro set cards in 91, and I've never felt the same about her since. And your name's Breastfeed your dad.
I love that use of the word upset, though.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah, upset.
I've upset myself all over your lap.
Oh, I'm afraid I've had a little upset. Like when Bear had an accident in Windsor High Street the other day.
Uh-oh.
And I had to go to a concierge hotel. Now, Bear had been acting strange. Of course, as you know, I can take Bear into any shop as the proud possessor of a...
well-drilled, well-behaved, well-trained dog.
And I got a special card.
Oh, I see. I know why
I've got a special card. So
Yeah.
if someone says, get your dog out of here, like this is a department store, I go, well, I think you might like to see my old friend, Mr.
Did you make the
No,
special
it's
card?
official. It's because of his nerves.
I'm a big nose.
They're shot to bits.
Donkey down a whoopsie on the stage. So, like, I don't know what I'll do if I ain't got Bear down a
who
shop.
better to take with you into a potentially anxious situation than
And
a potentially lethal
unreliable,
dog?
erratic, murderous hound. So there we was.
Can I just ask, in the process of obtaining that card, I personally would think if the support dog should go through a process of someone coming round and deciding whether this support...
How dare you? You pen
Yeah,
pushers.
what does he do if you have an attack?
You pen pushers. You pen pushers from City Hall.
Don't they have
You
to...
Poindexters.
Is it just like any dog? What if that dog had some, I don't know...
Has attacked people.
Yeah, dreadful kind of
People?
backstory.
None. 0. Oh, phew, come on. Let's put it out of the past. Well, like this dog is as good as gold and twice as pricey. So he went into several shops, and I'll tell you, he was a joy to be with, good as gold. But the problem was, is that down in TK Maxx, he began to yelp.
Why were you in TK Maxx?
First question.
He was getting some stuff for the kids, like school.
I like it.
All that kind
Good
of
place.
stuff.
Yeah, I like TK Maxx.
Got a nice coat. Now, Bear, he was on edge. I couldn't work out what it was. It's actually, but now the roles are reversed. I'm his support person. And I had to get him out of there quick, smart. Now,
Although I will say, TK Maxx can do that to you.
Yeah, so
It's
many
the bargain
bargains.
hunters,
Where do
isn't
you
it?
go? Oh, where are they? These fur-lined booties at this price, but have you got my size? No, if we've got no backroom store. If it ain't on the shelf, it ain't in the store. Forget it, Sonny. You're out of here. Get that dog off me! So, like, I
went the other day, just to let you know.
TK Maxx.
I went to TK Maxx, my local one.
New Cross.
New Cross Gate, absolutely. It's not too bad, Jen, you're right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Anyway, I wanted salt and pepper shakers.
TK Maxx. What sort of pepper shakers are you getting down there?
Nice ones. Joseph, which is apparently a good
What they
brand.
look like?
Oh, I can't remember.
What, they
now.
look trying to
How
think?
can you not remember?
Metal?
You bought them.
Well,
Stainless
they
steel?
were
Are they?
plasticky.
Classic?
They were plasticky, but good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway, being TK Maxx, they only had the pepper one in a set of two, and I
Two
had
peppers?
I had one pepper.
Pepper? May I offer you some additional pepper? Oh, my mouth hurts.
I had the exact same conversation. Like, I went and asked one of the people and said, "Look, is there the salt to go with the pepper?" And they said, "What's on the shelf is what we've got." You know, they weren't.
Even with regard to salt and pepper, because the assumption is that these guys come together as a team. They're Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
They are literally salt and pepper. That's a tale as old as time. Although, thing is, why is pepper the other one? Salt, I get it. It was a currency. It preserved foods. It's part of our nature. We throw it over our shoulder. Why not salt and turmeric? Why is
Because
pepper
pepper doesn't
risen?
really have a flavour. You can go with anything.
Pepper.
Yeah. You can go on anything. You
Hold
can't
on, I
put
think this
turmeric on everything.
Now, Jenny May Finn, as a postmodernist and a student of communications, I think...
Good luck, Jen. Go on, Ross.
But you said turmeric.
Flavour, I
Yeah.
think that's an abstract concept. I'll grant you that turmeric seems more particular, but when Gareth says earlier, on account of his vertigo, that reality is constructed within, do you think that there's no such thing as a neutrality to pepper? Is there?
Well, wouldn't other cultures say pepper's probably the mildest spice?
Would they? Live from the Himalayas, Pepper's the wildest spice. The new book by Maya Angelou. Pepper is the wildest
No,
spice.
mildest. Mild.
Oh, mild.
Mild. It's mild.
It's a mild spice, but even these notions of mildness and
But
you know,
your tongue, well, actual spice, your
why not
tongue.
Cancun pepper or hot chili flakes?
But they're spicy.
I don't like pepper. That's what I'm saying, and I think it doesn't deserve its place at the table.
Read the room,
It's just
Jen.
a mild season. You know when it says season your pasta, or it's just salt and pepper. It brings out the flavours of the current thing.
That's what it claims, Jen.
Yeah, it does.
I understand they're the claims, but I say yes to salt, but I say no to pepper. If Gareth had told me there was 2 salt shakers down TK Maxx, I couldn't have been happier.
Salt is the better one.
You just said, get them both.
Do you know what? Get them both. You're going to need them. But I'll tell you why there was 2 peppers, 2 salt. The salts have flown off the shelves, leaving the peppers because no one wants it. It's too weird. It's out there. It's crazy. It's the same as ketchup. Why ketchup is
I
the
prefer
standard?
mayonnaise. I prefer mayonnaise.
So do I,
Yeah.
especially veganese, of course.
Yeah,
being a
Heinz
vegan
one
guy.
is pretty good.
But why is ketchup why is that the thing?
Well, won't that relate to? I mean, it's probably Americanized, in that way that they pushed stuff that they've got.
And the horror of the peanut, how that's risen up the ranks, and the stinking
I'm so glad
hazelnut.
that ended with nut.
You've never been more glad to hear the word nut as a suffix there, have you, mate? So anyway, look, let's get back to TK
sidetrack.
Maxx. You could have got those peppers, by the way, and you could have amended them at home. Is it because you've got multiple holes and you like your salt out of one hole? Is that it, Gal?
No, I just again, I want to clarify. There was only one.
There's not a bunch of peppers.
No, there was only one. There was one on,
pepper.
and it was one pepper.
Did you look on the floor?
Yeah, I looked everywhere.
Under the shelf.
I was fuming. I thought the one thing that I want from this godforsaken place.
He's forsaken that, but he's
I've
not
had to
interested.
cope with that dog bear trying to.
He ate, to be fair, quite a few condiments while we're in there. A few shakers went down the old gullet. Then, so I left to put him at his ease. We got the families back on the high street now. We pick up a few things for a few family members. And then, now, I don't know if you're familiar with Windsor High Street, but it is a historic place opposite the Great Windsor Castle, of course. So there you are in the shadow of this magnificent place. And the promenade, it curls around, spiralling almost like a snail shell. Sadly, because of the effect of COVID and economic decline more broadly, even Pizza Express has a smashed window now, and you can feel the encroaching Armageddon seeping into even a bourgeois place like Windsor. Bear reveals that the source of the agitation was a digestive issue and unleashes I don't even think it's right to call it a stool. It was a sort of a wonderful explosion of varying consistencies, starting with a splat and ending with a sputter. And I'm there with the family and shopping bags and that. I tell them, like the hero that I was always born to be, you guys go ahead, get out of here, because people are stopping. People are stopping to look. They're seeing us coming out of TK Maxx, burdened with satchels and whatnot. Picked up a lovely couple of salt shakers in there at a price that's right. More than I need. I threw one away. One person in particular stopped, so I get the family out of there because it's more of a spectacle. And I think, what am I going to do? Luckily, I'd made eye contact with a concierge earlier, and I went back to him and I goes, mate, because this is not something that could be picked up with a poo bag, even if I possessed such a thing with my emotional support animal Bear. So I go to the concierge of some sort of hotel looking thing.
I was going to say it was a working concierge that you spotted. I thought you just meant like a regular one walking down the street.
I don't point people out and make snap
you know what he is?
profiles. Concierge. I can see it in your walk. I can tell by the way you look at your confidence, sir. The way you whistle, the way you tap your breast pocket. You're a concierge if ever I saw one. Now I'd seen him there earlier, and I went back. He was there, and he was wearing sort of much proper concierge gear, long coat, top hat, everything. Mate, my dog's had an accident. Now, the word accident was too evocative. I had to dial down. I had to retreat. You know. No. He just does a stool. I goes, I need a bucket of water. This isn't something I can pick up with a bag. This is going to require liquid. I goes, could you get us a bucket of water? He disappeared in it. He was gone quite a long while, and I was getting a bit frustrated because I was feeling, what I felt, Gal, is you cannot walk away and leave a scene like that.
No,
not in a high street
not
like
anymore.
Windsor. Even if there's not many places you would leave that. Only a rural area where it's not a public walkway, but a pavement like that. So it wasn't just fear of judgment. It was, I felt I had to atone, and it was the right civic thing to do because I am a civic-minded man, Gal. So luckily, after a while, he comes back with 2 champagne buckets, obviously filled with water. He starts to take the lead, Matthew, the concierge. Thank you, Matthew. He starts to take the lead and do with it when it comes to the sloshing. But I think, no, the sloshing. This is my dog. I tie Bear up, and I go, no, let me slosh. And
hold one of these flutes, Matthew. I'll take care of this.
And so I've like we cast it down, and thankfully Windsor being the place it is, there's a sort of a thin guttering grate system that runs in a bifurcating the sidewalk all the way along, so you can sort of slosh the majority.
Right. Was it downhill?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was downhill.
what a stroke of luck.
It was downhill, but also the thing's running right the way down the middle. Like it's like an endless sort of, it's not even a gutter, it's running down the middle. It's a grate running all the way down. I've never seen anything like it, actually. And it was quite near it, so I could slosh the vast majority of the effluvia down. But when it comes to some of the, what we might call the nuttier cuts, the choicer balls, they catch in the grate. Now, I think what's got to be done about that? Fortunately, a homeless fella has vacated a pitch, and there's the sort of a one piece of cardboard which I lay over it as a temporary solution to the remaining problem, and I think that was a matter well dealt with under the circumstances. Not like Mr. Wolf out of Pulp Fiction, but a relatively good clean-up job after a difficult explosion.
Well done. And what do you imagine would have happened to the rest of it under that cardboard?
I suppose it's being compressed down, and I reckon after a while, I feel that Windsor is a well-maintained area. One of the things you surely will have noticed as a aware and awakened citizen is areas that have, broadly speaking, a wealthy population are better tended. Like they've got nice hanging baskets in, like, say, South Ken that you would never get in, like, Newark. You know, so like, or indeed probably New Cross,
Crossgate, yeah.
Gentrification does, you know, in the end.
I'm
sort of,
waiting for that to happen.
although a reverse process seems to be happening in Windsor as you watch the deterioration. But anyway, which I contributed to significantly with that fecal decoration there. But anyway, I feel like later on in the day, some people came, street cleaners, and I hope that it weren't. I'm saying 90% of it was dealt with.
Yeah.
90%. Was
there any part of you that thought you could have written on the cardboard, "There's shit under here" or something?
I felt that would be
a step too far.
A step too far. Even if I'd have used more euphemistic language, like, careful now. Watch out when you peel this back. There's a surprise for thee. This is like a dreadful advent calendar. The arse end of Christmas. As you peel back this card, there's a grim revelation for thee. Even if I'd have written something sort of Gnostic, it wouldn't have been right. So I just went down, you know.
Don't turn it into a quiz with a dreadful ending.
That's what I'd done that day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been handled now. It's been handled.
I mean, not to completely continue to take this show into the gutter, which of course
literally is where it went.
Yeah, but outside, and again, not to do a disservice to New Cross Gate, but there was something that appeared recently almost outside of where I live on our little row, was a huge pile of excrement.
Human?
This was the conversation between the neighbours on the WhatsApp group.
You've got a WhatsApp group?
We've got a WhatsApp group.
On the corner of the street?
Yeah. There's maybe 6, 7, 8 of us there.
What's the lighting like around that area?
It's not good. And what we imagined was that someone, because apparently it was immediately dismissed that it could have been dog. It was too much. But hearing your story, maybe it was.
It could have been a dog. But like, what I feel like, given that it was New Cross, is that perhaps someone's ran out, to return neatly to our methadone matter, that someone's buzz wore off.
Yeah.
Their body began to function again.
This is the theory.
And it was a sudden attack.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of areas around Centre Point, that kind of that area of London, notorious for, you know, Hogarth depicted it as Gin Alley, and it's always been a place of addiction, decimation and drug dealing.
Oh, thank God you're able to bring some culture to this conversation.
Thank you. And like still now you will happen upon a stall there, because it's where there's like needle exchanges and dispensaries of all sorts around there. So people often, when they you often become constipated when addicted to opiates, but if you can't maintain your buzz, then the old everything kicks back into action, and that's the very sort of thing that could happen in New Cross Gate.
Yeah, they didn't show that on Grange Hill, did they?
They got
Zammo doing it.
Zammo, no! Oh, flush the chain, Zammo.
Just say no, kids.
just simply say no. Okay, do you want me to read any more responses to your questions? Do you want to hear my breakdown? Do you want to move on to the quiz?
You should do breakdown and then the result, the league table, because it's 52 minutes in.
Jen, you're producing so hard there. That's none of the tenderness of touch that we've come to.
That's okay, but I'm always like this.
You're turning into a BBC producer.
You're like, where do you think you are? Up at Auntie?
But I'm giving you a choice. People. Would you like to do your breakdown?
Like I'm a 16-year-old lad on BBC 3, or like one of them channels that's not even got a proper name, it's just some dots. It's not even on the telly no more. You have to get a special telephone to watch it. All right, okay, Jen. I'll do.
What would you like to do?
No, I'll do what you're talking. Because
Break
you are a
down?
good producer. I will break down. Wait, here we go.
This is Russell's Football Breakdown. This is Russell's Breakdown. Russell's Breakdown.
Thanks for
I
joining
like your
me.
breakdowns.
So these are the things. Now, good news, everyone. You know, we keep mentioning the Foo Fighters because of that geezer at Villa who's still there even with Gerrard.
Yep.
And he can't surely just... Can he just glide into the same prominence under Stevie G that he had under the much more unassuming
I don't
Dean
think he
Smith?
will. I haven't seen him as prominently on the touchline. That seems to be... Because I think there's Gerrard, there's Gary McAllister, but I haven't seen our Foo Fighter.
McAllister. Because I don't think Stevie G would stand for that kind of exuberance in his dugout.
He's very controlled, isn't he?
Yeah,
very
he is.
controlled. He's intense. I was watching him yesterday, and he wasn't, punching the air or the opposite when you're angry about something. He was just, you could just see him thinking, contemplating, working it out. He's kind of been there, done it, hasn't he? He knows what's going on.
I love Stevie G, actually.
I do. There was chanting stuff about him. I didn't, when that awkward thing where, you hear the fan chants on a live thing and then...
sorry about that. Fans expressing themselves. It's not the kind of language you condone, but it's a live sport.
Yeah. And they were doing that. I can't even remember what they were saying about him. But he's a cool customer, isn't he, Gerrard?
Yeah, he's battle hardened. Yeah, he knows.
I have respect for all that generation. I guess that was the golden generation. It's nice to see. In a way, it's nice now post retirement that you get. Neville interviewed Lampard recently, and I love hearing that generation talk about football. Because a lot of them are incredibly eloquent, aren't they, as well? Neville's a good example of that.
Yes, they really actually are. They
really are. Lampard is incredibly...
Maybe they had to get super media savvy because they were perhaps the first bunch that got that sort of royal kick in from the media. It really amped up, didn't it? Around particularly like the England players. They got booted about and all the wags. That was probably out of order, all that.
I think you're right. I think actually they had to tolerate a lot more than
their wives getting criticised and all that.
Yeah. So they had to learn how to talk their way out of those kind of things.
Yeah, probably had to have proper media training. And if they wanted to stay in the game like this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and the actual... Alicia, there's an actual Foo Fighter wants to come on this podcast. He's a fan. And I don't know if it's the Foo Fighter that you say that geezer looks like.
Taylor Hawkins.
What Foo Fighter wants to come on here?
Is it Taylor? I say it's Taylor.
You can't even get the name of a
Taylor's
Foo Fighter.
the one with the long blonde hair. Dave is...
Well, that's the
Dave
one.
Grohl's
it's not Dave Grohl. And it's like, I'm assuming it's probably the one that Gareth's saying that our man there looked like.
Well, you said Austin McPhee, isn't it?
You actually said the wrong name when you said it.
Chris Shiflett. We should be impressed because he might be coming on. We can have him on with Steve Warnock, perhaps in a 4-way, 5-way, the 5 of us.
Yeah.
Chris Shiflett. He listens and he likes it. All right, Chris, and he's a West Ham fan.
Here.
What does he look like?
He has a beard and a brown hair with flecks of grey.
Ask if he can get the blonde one.
That's Taylor. Taylor's the blonde one.
Well, there you go. He's the one we want. No, we'll take any Foo Fighter.
No. Why didn't we get them both at the same time? No, it's too much.
We'll try to, Jen. We'll try to.
He's the lead guitarist.
Okay,
well,
great.
Fair enough. Lead guitarist in the Foo Fighters. What more do you want on a podcast?
The football podcast.
A footballer? That Austin McPhee?
Who knows? Would be.
Why don't we
do you
get
know
Austin?
What? Last podcast of the season, let's get Austin
McPhee.
That would be a hell
Bring him on to tie everything together.
Yeah, it'd be nice. At the end of our first season.
Yeah, because this is still season 1 in our minds. That was an error to call this that a season. That was a break was what we were on.
Yeah.
We were on a break, Friends style. I saw you mull that over with your comedy mind. So, all right, pundits on Match of the Day. Leo Osman, Everton, maybe Leicester at some point. And then I remember, and your man, Warnock, he was on there with the lad with a high hair and a grey streak.
Yeah, Manish. His hair's too cool, isn't it? It's brilliant.
He looked good.
He looks great.
I prefer him to the one you like, Chappers. But
what?
But Chappers for you is almost like a paternal love, isn't it? The loyalty you feel for Chappers.
No,
because them podcasts you listen to, and he's really got.
He does the Monday Night Club, and he's brilliant on that.
Fair enough.
And
mate.
I love him Match of the Day too.
I meant no offence. Okay, all white Arsenal kit. I liked it.
I mean, it's a nice looking kit. There's a little bit of me that just feels, kind of, it was Purcell white, wasn't it? To kind of use that. Like, can a kit be so clean that it in some way lays the idea of
Don't get this dirty.
Don't get this dirty. Exactly.
Like new shoes.
Yeah, like new shoes.
You can't relax.
Exactly. Maybe that was what happened.
Arsenal didn't want to get their shirts
Do
dirty.
they wash their shirts after each or just throw them out?
I feel like they get thrown out or
probably
distributed.
Yeah. They get a fresh one each week.
Because they give them away and they throw them out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They could save a few pound there. Couldn't you? That's that. Be honest with yourself.
Go on.
Deep down, you love a pitch invasion.
Oh, yeah. When
they celebrate, like say when Forrest scored.
Yeah.
Was his name Graben?
Yeah.
He scores.
Yeah. I think it's dependent on
the mood.
The mood, obviously, you don't want it turning.
This must not become an all-night rave. Yeah, it's got to be good spirits.
But there's probably a level of how many people is all right.
Like, all right,
once you're into most of the pitch is over, then you've got like an half-hour break before the game's back on.
Because that was actually at the goal, wasn't it? And the goal weren't like it wasn't. What about pitch invasion at the end?
Yeah,
like everyone's celebrating now. They want to grab a corner flag, take it home.
One of the best ever pitch invasions for me personally is when Hull went through to the playoff final the first time, and at the end,
the second leg at your place.
Yeah, and the crowd, like everyone, I wasn't there. Unfortunately, I was living here. I wasn't there, but I watched it, and it was just amazing. The crowd jumping off, but they still had a couple of minutes to play, so they did have to clear everyone off.
Go back, calm down. You've pitch invaded too quick there.
Yeah, but it was joyous. It was absolutely, and you're like, how are you to deny? It's a playoff final of to get to the Premier League for a club like Hull. I mean,
you don't want malice, is it?
No.
But what you want is exuberant joy.
Yeah. I think it must be hard to steward a game.
Yeah, you're looking the wrong way. You're wearing a high vis. You've got to go, no, stop, no, come on. You don't feel like you've got quite enough authority,
exactly.
I'd say. You're not the police.
Yeah.
You're sort of a bit like you're a volunteer at a library, sort of going, shh, oi, shh, pack that in. Yeah, it's not enough authority, I say. Forest has still got those 2 stars, of course, from their European Cup triumphs of old under Cloughy. An incredible achievement. It's weird to see that there, even when the match of the day projected the logos up onto the board at the back to discuss the event, they have them 2 stars there incorporated into the badge. Do they always do that? Do like when you put up the Red Devils of United, do you sort of see the 2? And when it's Liverpool, do you see that? How many times Liverpool won it? 3,
I don't
5?
I don't think it's every team have got it. I mean, I think England did it with the World Cup, didn't they? They put a star.
One looks a little bit.
It does. It does. Yeah.
It's a bit desperate.
It's a bit desperate.
Do you remember? Hey? Bobby Charlton. Nobby Styles. All right, yeah. So long ago.
Yeah.
But then, do you know the thing that freaks me out? I was born 9 years after that.
Wow.
Right? Like, and now that seems like a million years ago. And so it's so weird that if you went back in time instead of forwards when you were born, nowadays would be the good old 1930s. Now I remember that's been a time of great peace across Europe. It's weird, isn't it? Because you don't grant it equal weights and measures. It's like the history just seems like a big bunch of irrelevance sometimes. Same with money. There's some things you'll spend a load of money on, and other things you think, I'm not spending that.
Yeah.
Like say when things want me to pay money on my telly, like if you want to watch this film, it's £5. No, it's going to disappear by tomorrow. You what? Stuff it. But like, I'd happily give that to, I don't know, for a coffee, or I do try to make a point of giving money to the homeless, often because I've stolen their pitch to cover up dogs' poos. Okay. Graben, good beard.
Great beard.
And in his interview, you could hear the Forest fans going, give us a wave. And he did do the wave.
He did do the wave.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was one of them where the crowd stays in the stadium after the game. I love that.
It's nice.
It's not often that happens, that you stay, that most of these crowds stay in the stadium.
Mate, has Graben been at like other top flight?
Bunch of clubs, yeah.
Because he went, it's always hard against Arsenal.
Yeah, he was at Bournemouth for a bit. He's been around
Places.
Oh yeah,
I feel
he's
like
one of those like
journeyman,
journeyman, but always kind of delivers. He's got quality in him. I think it's just he never scored quite enough to make it at the top level. But
unlike Rondon, who gets another chance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Rondon.
They're not happy with Rondon, are they?
They're not happy with Rafa.
They're not. No.
But what about Gray? Are they happy with him?
They're happy with him.
He's all right, isn't he? Be happy.
I mean, he was, to be honest, in the whole game, he was the only good thing about Everton. Really.
When we're going to see Coutinho?
That's exciting, isn't it? Over the holidays, Coutinho. I mean, that's what an amazing signing. You hope. You don't know. We don't know how.
What Coutinho's going to come back?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, he was amazing. He was like everything to Liverpool. It's like,
phenomenal.
Liverpool made a mistake. Letting go of this dude.
Phenomenal at Liverpool. I mean, they were able to get a massive fee for him because he was so great. I mean, it's the goals that he scored for Liverpool as well. The absolute, outside the area type goals.
He's shy.
He does seem shy, doesn't he?
Someone told me he's shy.
Oh, someone told you that? Oh.
He's only like my mate who's a Liverpool fan said he's shy.
Oh.
So that's why he's a bit shy.
Right.
There at the new camp.
Yeah.
I feel a bit shy now. Only going to play 12 games a season. Look after the shyness.
Oh, bless him.
Bless his little shy heart. I like shyness. Shyness is nice, no doubt about it. All right. Morecambe's kit against Spurs Morecambe. You can really tell lower league clubs.
Yeah, you could.
The design. It's a graphic design issue.
I agree with that.
What is Kane feeling in himself when he's like playing against Morecambe and coming off the bench? And furthermore, I don't think they should be allowed to. I think if you score against Morecambe in the cup, you shouldn't
celebrate.
You shouldn't celebrate.
Well,
you should
look,
go, that's what I'm here to do.
I did feel the same thing. When they were celebrating as much as they were, I felt like, come on, guys, you've been 1-0 down to Morecambe for the majority of this game. Like, I don't know whether that's relief or just trying to give a perception of, we were always going to win all along. But it didn't wash with me as a viewer. I was like, this isn't good enough. Like, as a Spurs fan, I would not be happy with that performance. And it took for them to bring on Kane for them to even win the game. So, I thought that they were celebrating too hard. Like, I'd have been a bit more sorry about the last 70 minutes.
That was wrong of us.
Exactly.
Did Ndombele take too long to walk off?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Thought so. And then the commentator.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? How quickly you walk off a pitch means something.
Yeah, right. Means like he's got. What is it? He's not happy there or what?
Oh,
when he meant to be brilliant? He was doing 50 million quid when he was.
It was more than that, I think. It was like 65, 70 or something. Is their record signing? Yeah. We're going into proper. It's weird this because we're doing actual football time.
Right, better move on.
And I'm not used to it.
The commentator went, "They dare to dream," and then the other one went, "They have the right to."
Who was that about?
I think it was after that, and I think it was your mate Warnock and Leon Osmond. They dare to dream. They have every right to. Said another one. Dare it, and I thought it was funny to talk about something like dreaming and daring to dream and having a right to do it. Sort of a weird metaphysical concept.
Yeah, but you get these, phrases in football, don't you, that get kicked around and slightly evolve and change. I love them. I feel so at home and at ease with that kind of language.
The exchange of these idioms and cliches. Right. The magic of the cup, giant killers, and all of those. It's not the same anymore, is it? Because the FA Cup's sort of hugely depleted and the game has become so bloated and inflated that you can't sort of really access that unless you do support Morecambe.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or Cambridge or, or a lower league club, and you sense that kind of victory. All right, a few things I've got a few more observations, and here those are. Johnny Jackson, the Charlton manager, he could be in a 2000s era revival boy band. Very handsome.
Very handsome guy. Also, he could be in a Guy Ritchie film or something.
He could really be in a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, really
with
had that
Pookie
vibe.
as one of the baddies. He was playing for Norwich. You know, like how Guy Ritchie will put like bald geezer, maybe it's Statham, put like him in. So Pookie, he's like the baddie. Yeah. And you, Johnny Jackson, with your perfect name and look and hair, you're my hero.
Yeah. I know. It was one of them where you get the manager interview at the end, and I was like, "Blimey, look at this guy!" Then
hello, I can do it with a crumpet. Elliot Lee, Rob Lee's son.
Yeah,
good,
really good.
At one point, it said denied by Kroll's legs.
Kroll's legs.
Kroll's
Which
legs.
I always think someone's going to do a Kroll joke, but they don't often do it.
You can't do that too many times. Probably in the back of your mind, you feel like it's been done. Shrewsbury's manager against Liverpool looks like he's plucked his eyebrows.
That's Cottrell, isn't it? Isn't that Steve Cottrell?
Is it Steve Cottrell? He's got very arch eyebrows, very arch. And now finally leaves West Ham. Bielsa's translator makes everything Bielsa said seem much more important.
Yeah, he does.
It's just like, what's this going to be?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if David Moyes would just say it to someone, and then that guy would go, "Well, actually, we did a good job under the circumstances, but we've really got to improve on our discipline. We've got to run hard." Precious gemstones. All right, so that's the end of my breakdown.
Can you do
the league?
Yeah.
I will, Jen.
Because it's over an hour now.
Oh, let's wrap this up. Now, as you know, that on this podcast we do predictions based on the sort of scores in the Premier League games. We don't do the FA Cup. We've not done it for a while. Now, what I'm being told, what this chart is showing, and there could be an inquiry because corruption is abound.
I've written it down, though. Look at the,
what do you mean you've written
look at
it
the
down?
bottom box.
The bottom box.
And then it has all of the last time we did the predictions.
So the last time we did predictions, Jenny amassed 8 points.
I got every result right.
Jenny got every result right.
As in not like 3-pointer.
Not 3 point, not exact score,
That's
but
amazing.
the result.
You'd make some money on the pools
I
there,
know.
Jenny.
Jenny, you should be doing the football pools. This is
But I didn't know I was going to get it right, did I?
Jen, I think if you were
You're
like
right. You're rubbing your eyes quite a lot.
yeah, I've got when you start rubbing your eye and then you actually get into it a bit.
Right, I do know. When you get into
I've gotten into it.
well,
Like you start rubbing it, you think, actually this is quite nice.
brilliant. And that's it. It's so hard to stop.
That's what the trouble I had with drugs. Like I started and it's like the eye rub.
Do you ever think, this is going to affect my appearance?
Like make it too wrinkly?
That's when I stop. That's the only thing that can make me
The
stop.
only thing that stands between me and a good eye rub is the idea that I'm wrinkling my eyes up. Wrinkling like walnuts.
My mum used to tell me, because I'm allergic to cats and I've got hay fever.
And you love cats.
I adore them.
The tragedy.
And so I was frequently, as a child, rubbing my
those
eyes.
peepers. Gareth! Stop rubbing those eyes! We're going to Scunthorpe! The car's fucking ruined!
Yeah, I was always doing it, and she would say to me, and I think she was just running out of stuff to say to tell me to stop. She used to say, "You're going to get huge boils underneath your eyes if you keep doing that." And like this idea,
medieval.
Boil.
yeah, huge boils,
No.
huge white boils under your
White
eyes.
boils.
Yeah.
What? How often?
I don't know if that
you
was
must have been.
accurate.
When you see kids do it so much that you do
You just
actually
tell them
think,
stuff.
please.
You're
Yeah.
panicking. You run out of
Tell
things to
them
tell the
anything.
truth. I have told my children don't clean their teeth. There will be maggots will live in their mouths. And I've shown them videos of maggots living in people's
That's
mouths.
horrible.
Jenny, you've got to do these things. They've got to clean them.
They're going to say that to someone when they're like 18 and
Well, of
someone will
course,
turn around
you get maggots
on a
in your
date or
teeth.
something.
Well,
and then
thanks for coming for the university interview. Good luck in your next interview.
Thank you. So when do I start my course? Because I've got to someone has to cure this dental curse of gum maggots. And I believe I'm the woman for the job. Why do you talk like that? I don't know. Gum maggots. So what Jen is claiming, it was a low-scoring week all round because the previous week Jen amassed 13, getting nearly every result right. No one got 3 points. Gal got 7. Jen got 8. Oldie Rusty, the people's champion.
yeah, this is why this has happened.
Only got 3. So now
3?
Yeah.
So Jenny May Finn has moved up. Gareth, you still stand like a colossus with a great scrotum full of glorious points swinging down low in first place, 67 points. Jenny May Finn, Jengo, Johnny Come Lately, 62 points. But remember, Jenny didn't do like the first 2 or possibly even 3
2,
weeks.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone said Jen should be rewarded an
know.
average of
5 a week.
something
So
like that.
I'd be ahead
Is
of
it
Gary.
5 a week?
Yeah, they said 5. I should have pulled that review.
You're like Man City if you start getting awarded
Yeah.
those points. You should have pulled that review. And Russ, it's just
I'll
the
put
point
it.
behind Jen. Everything to play for.
Not in
Still
third,
tied
are
at
you?
the top.
He's in
But
third.
well, how chaos can I be if Jen's
Joined
second? Unless I'm being relegated because it's the end of the season.
Well, you're in the zone.
I'm in the relegation
How did I
zone.
guess every game?
I'm the new Newcastle. I got everything. I got everything going for me.
Who am I? Am I Manchester? Did you say I'm Man City?
Well, you are in a way, because if you were awarded you the points you're due, we've got to assume that you can go back and predict. I know you won't remember anything. Why don't you go back and look
I
at the
can't
first
though
two?
because it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. Look at the integrity. That's why Jen should be the
Yeah.
princess.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
princess.
of the league.
Good decision there, Jen. Well done.
It's because
Well
you
done.
wait.
What?
It's
No,
guys wants to
you've
stay
done
at
the
the
right
top.
thing there. Well done.
What? Because it means a lot to you.
No.
All you
I
care
never think
about is
about it.
victory. Well, there's some forthcoming fixtures. We'll, of course, make those predictions in our own time so that you don't have to be subjected to it. But the simple truth is that Jenny May Finn is surging forward, the kind of surge that we're unlikely to see in the Premier League, where Man City...
She is Man City. Starts quietly, makes the
No
way up
striker.
the league.
She's got no striker. Who
I've
cares?
done
She don't need it.
Don't
Everyone's
need
a midfielder. We're all brilliant. We're all going to score. Any part of Jen can go on a spree of scoring 8 to 10 goals. Any part of
That
her.
sounds good.
Yeah, well, that seems to be what's happening, Jen.
I
and
mightn't get anything next week.
Well, what are you saying, Jen? We're taking
Because
this.
I don't
You want
know.
us to console you?
I don't know anything about football.
Well, it seems that you're tuning into deep, powerful, potent forces of
Maybe you
consciousness.
guys really know, because I'm only listening to you guys.
That's it.
You're the
It's
only
nice of
source
Jenny
of
to
football.
say that to
Yeah,
us.
well done.
But you're not
You're kind.
you're thinking too much.
I remember there was a time where I would just go with the guts. And in them days, I got sometimes 2 or 3 correct scores, correctly predicting that West Ham would beat Liverpool 3-2.
That was ridiculous.
That was the greatest moment of my life. When West Ham won that game,
because Mane should have equalised.
with that late
I mean,
sort of header,
yeah.
that was one of the. That was like when my kids were born. It was joyful. It was joyful. But look what the pain is now of both having maggot gummed kids and a lowly propping up the table there with 61 points. Well, we'll predict this next round of fixtures. We'll be back with Football is Nice.
Oh, we're back now.
We're back into it. We'll do this till the end of the season,
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
When is that?
Never ends, Jen. Football never ends. It's coming home, it's going out, and it's coming home again. That's the football life. When's that World Cup in
when
the
is-
winter?
I was
I'm
gonna-
against that.
When is World Cup?
In the
Yes.
winter.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
It's not right. Where are we going to be? It's going to be warm when we're watching it.
It is weird.
I don't like it.
No one likes it.
Is it
No
something
one
to do
likes
with the Olympics? Because they have to do that bit.
No, it's to
with-
do with allowing Qatar to host it,
Yeah.
even though they've used all sorts of labour to probably all sorts of dodgy gears gone on. But it's probably political, and I'm already a bit worried about my card there for Bear. 2 controversies in one show. Mind you, anyone
No
who
one's
knows me
taking
knows
that-
I'm mentally ill.
Yeah, no
I don't
one's
want to lose
taking
my
that
card.
card away.
Who gave you the card?
Fair and square down the doctor's.
Was it Supervet?
That's his name.
No, the supervet's not a doctor. He can't medically diagnose me as mentally ill.
Oh.
No one can, except my doctor.
They've tried and failed.
And I'm still at large. All right, well, thank you. Football is nice.
It is, certainly is.
Very nice. Not fair, but it's nice.